Who would have thought that the US, Germany and Venice has so much in common with New Zealand? Well, it does. Here in the eastern suburbs of Auckland is one very special lady doing her thing, making glass which is used to mount and make beads. Find out more. Stay with us. You're watching Mary TV right across New Zealand. Glass that Lisa-Jane uses comes from Monaro, Venice, the States and Germany. However, New Zealand also produces glass, gaffer glass, which she uses to mount and make beads. Lisa-Jane sources her tools and materials from a local distributor here in New Zealand that sells everything you need. Lisa-Jane, what is the biggest thing you've made?
Well, the longest bead I've ever made is about between 8 and 10 centimetres long, but the average bead would probably be around about 2 to 5 centimetres.
Was that here in New Zealand or back home in South Africa?
No, all of the glasswork that I've done has been here in New Zealand. I've been doing this for 2 years.
What piece are you proud of the most?
I made a piece to enter the annual bead competition through Annie Rose, and it was a piece called Once We Were Nature, and it comprised of a three-dimensional pohutukawa flower made in glass with an eye and created into a totem that stands about 8 centimetres tall.
Now, this is a question that you get asked a lot. How do you add colour in glass that you would normally appear to just be clear?
So glass is actually coloured with metal oxides and various chemicals that when they produce it at the factory, being gaffer glass here in New Zealand.
Wow, I'm just looking at what you're doing right now. If we can get a shot of that now, that is absolutely... So tell me about what you're doing here.
So glass comes in colour, so it's actually created with its colour. It's not painted or anything. And we then pull the glass into what we call stringers, and these fine strands are used to decorate the surface of the bead. So we would then use these to put flowers or dots or geometric shapes on the surface of the bead, and everything is glass, so it's all the same. It's all the same properties. There's no paint involved in this.
No paint was harmed in the making of this.
A bead for you. So basically what you do is you melt, this is called a mandrel, it's the whole of your bead. So, and we have a clay compound that we use to separate the glass from the metal. And you basically melt the glass down and wind it onto the mandrel, forming a round bead. And then you use your stringers to decorate the surface.
So Lisa, the glasses, besides them not being very fashionable because they are very ugly with God only knows what on the inside and the outside, and the colour is something that I would expect Elton John to be wearing on a show, why are they so important?
Basically we use a surface mix torch that combines oxygen and propane, and the combination creates this blue torch. You get what we call a sodium flare that comes off the flame, and that sodium flare is much the same as if you were welding. So we use a very lightly tinted but similar to welding glasses, which protects our eyes from the sodium flare.
Because you put these on.
Exactly right.
I haven't been wearing them
Rawr.
And I'm talking away from the microphone, there we go, and you totally can see absolutely everything that you're doing.
Because it removes that flare, you actually get to see what's happening inside the flame. So they're very important though. They're very much a safety, first and foremost a safety, and secondly the fact that you can see what's going on. Okay.
Now what's the heat that's coming out of those flames at the minute?
So the torch itself is rated at 2,800 degrees Celsius, but that's not necessarily what's required to melt glass. Glass can start to melt and be pliable at around about 800 degrees Celsius.
All right.
It's a very controlled flame though. You can see you can get quite close to it, so the heat is very controlled and focused, so there's no danger with it. But yes, you wouldn't want to put your finger in there.
No. Tell me about all these other whiz-bang
So we use various tools. Glass doesn't stick to graphite, so most of our shaping tools are made out of graphite, which you can then roll your hot glass on and shape it.
I think stuff in here that I would look and probably see at my beautician by the look of it.
Yes, pretty similar. So we use a very cool product. These are actually made out of tungsten, And tungsten is one of those products that the more you heat it, the stronger it gets. So it's a tool that you can put directly in the flame, and the more you heat it, the stronger this gets. Obviously, metal, anything at 2,800 degrees Celsius would just melt. So we use very specialised tools for what we do. And then, of course, you get your good old-fashioned garden variety, stolen dental dissecting tools, and what else do we use? We use brass as well. Brass is really good for shifting glass because the glass sticks but doesn't adhere. And you also get shears, which you can actually cut glass with. So you can melt.
It's a dangerous world we live in.
It's a dangerous world we live in. Yeah,
it did just happen. Did you see that?
It does happen. Sorry, not that it's not meant to happen. It does happen.
Okay.
And all of those are available in New Zealand.
People can't appreciate this and won't appreciate it. The heat in this room is just stifling. It's hotter in here. I mean, it's probably a 25-degree day outside, but the temperature in this room is hotter, and that obviously is because you've got three
Exactly right.
burners on the go.
And we've got the kiln going as well. We have a kiln. You need to put your glass beads into a kiln.
So what you're doing there, and take us over there and show us that.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
Tell us about what's in this corner over here.
So these are basically kilns that we use to anneal the glass beads. Glass shifts from a molten to a solid state, but the molecules don't actually change. It's one of the very few products in the world, or maybe the only product in the world that does that. Mm-hmm. So we need to control the rate at which it cools in order for the tension to get back into the structure, mm-hmm. and that way our beads will last for thousands of years, and they become heirloom quality. If you don't anneal your beads in a kiln, at some stage the tension will show and the bead will crack. It might be tomorrow, 3 days, 10 days, or even a year's time, but at some stage it will crack.
Now, as you're making this, tell me about the Beads of Courage program you're associated with.
So Child Cancer Foundation's brought the program in from the States, and basically when children go into treatment for cancer, they have a journey that they go on. And the journey comprises of clinic visits, various treatments, and some major milestones that take place in their treatments. For the clinic visits and things like that, they get mass-manufactured beads, which then mark their journey. But we do milestone beads, whereby if a child, let's say, has to go through bone marrow transplant, or has a specific act of courage that they've just come out of, or have experienced an ordeal, then they get a very special bead. And we make those beads for the program and donate them to the program for the children to wear. So it's a good way for us to use our art in a charitable manner and have a child receive a bead in a major milestone in their lives.
And of course you have people besides yourself. You've got professionals that come in and lend their time for free to help make these beads also, is that right?
Exactly right. So in the new year, when the Born to Bead studio opens, we're going to be offering a day a month where artists can bring their own glass and basically contribute to the program. Would they just sit for the day, make up glass beads for the program, and then we package them up and donate them to the Child Cancer Foundation.
Now, if you'd like further information about anything we've talked about today with the Born to Bead team, visit the website www.borntobead.co.nz. Coming up next, we're at Ardmore Airport looking at aeroplanes.